Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where I'll be going through all the new information, patch notes, future changes, and news you might have missed. You name it, I've got it covered here. The only stuff I won't be including is any spoilers about any new exotics or DLC content in this video. This is the first September in a long time that we haven't seen the release of a Destiny title or DLC. It's actually the first September ever since Destiny 1 launched that we don't have a release or some kind of big DLC this month. And because of that, Season 7 has been extended for an extra month. So instead, we're getting some pretty substantial updates along the way. Let's dive into all the news, upcoming changes, and details on the newest update for Destiny 2. The following changes all went live today. Some big changes that just went live today, September 3rd, include the Reckoning and Gambit Prime updates. In these activities, you're going to see weapon reward drop rates, quote, highly increased, along with an increased bad luck protection to guarantee a drop after a set amount of runs. And Tier 3 Reckoning will have the highest drop rates. On top of that, Reckoning is also going to be tuned to be a bit more welcoming, meaning that enemies have less health and do less damage. With these changes in place, it's only going to be easier to farm for cores now. Thanks to running Tier 3 alone close to 180 times over the course of the last 2 seasons, as well as countless matches of Gambit Prime, my stockpile of Masterwork cores has skyrocketed. It also helps that I've Masterworked only like 2 pieces of gear the entire season. Speaking of Masterwork cores, community manager DMG04 said on Reddit that come Shadowkeep, enhancement cores will be dismantled individually as opposed to entire stacks. He said that, quote, if any bugs or issues are found, this could change. It's always risky confirming fixes before they ship. Gambit Prime and Reckoning aren't the only things getting an update though. Finally, Wayfarers can rejoice because today, Braytech schematics are getting their long overdue update. Braytech schematics are no longer limited to 1 per day per account, even though it's still going to say 1 per day per account in-game. They're going to update that tooltip later. These Braytech schematics also have a 25% drop chance when opening any Rasputin data cache, those little Warmind node things that you use the resonance stems on. Those are going to be a ton more rewarding now. On top of that, the schematics now have a better chance to drop a weapon that you don't currently own when it comes to the ones required for the collections badge. Currently, Wayfarer is one of the easiest titles to get, only being beat out by Dredgen. Here's a neat little chart showing you the percentages of tracked players that have this title. That's about 1 million or so tracked players. I just thought this was neat. I wanted to share it. It's pretty cool looking at how many people actually go for seals. Depending on how many people have been waiting on these Braytech changes, the title of Wayfarer may end up being the most common in a few weeks. Then we've got the Mountaintop and Wendigo questline changes. Those 2 pinnacle quests are being adjusted to be more accessible. For the Wendigo GL3 grenade launcher, here are the changes. Grenade launcher kills are now worth 100% more for each objective. The death penalty no longer exists for the final objective. Grenade launcher multi-kills now grant 50% more progress. And completing playlist strikes grants a significant amount of progress towards the final objective. And then of course the Mountaintop quest was adjusted. The required number of multi-kills has been reduced from 200 to 75. The required number of medals has been reduced from 100 to 25. And points earned in the competitive playlist have further been increased relative to other PvP modes. This is roughly 1 times for quick play, 2 times for Iron Banner, and 3 times for comp. Now, Bungie did confirm that grenade launchers are not getting nerfed in Shadowkeep. This still means that the spike grenades perk could be on the chopping block, but things like Wendigo and Prospector are still going to be amazing, no doubt. Not nerfing these weapons was a pretty ballsy decision considering grenade launchers have been so dominant above every other option. And to combat some of this overpoweredness, we did just get confirmation that things like Lunafaction boots and Rally Barricade are being changed from their auto-reloading mechanic to an effect that basically gives you an outlaw on whatever weapon you're using, allowing you to reload a lot faster. This is a great change, and I have an entire video written up about why this is a good thing. Not sure if I'll actually put it out, but let me know if you want to see that. The new community challenge begins today. The location is on Mars, and the challenge lasts until the 10th of September. As a community, here's the goals we need to meet. And if we crush all of these, which we will, players who complete a Nightfall during this week will get this exclusive Warmind emblem. Once the community beats this challenge, players are going to receive an extra reward from the Menagerie chest, with an additional reward being added every Friday until the season ends. So that means by the last week of Season 7, you'll be getting 5 rewards every time you open the Menagerie chest. No doubt this will be the best legit way to farm for legendary shards to start the new season. And one final addition to the update today was that all those planetary materials, Gunsmith mats, Vanguard, Crucible, and Iron Banner tokens, can all now stack up to 10,000 instead of just 1,000 in your inventory. Those are all the changes that went live today, September 3rd. Now let's cover some more things we can look forward to in the near future. When it comes to more specific changes on the horizon, here's some things that have been mentioned throughout the various forums and social media outlets. In an update later in October, you'll be able to dismantle that pesky permanent mysterious box quest item from your pursuits tab. Sunshot is finally getting a buff this October. Quote, the team has been hard at work making some sandbox quality of life updates in Shadowkeep. One item in particular is Sunshot and its magazine size, which has now been increased to 12 rounds. Not sure if this is the only change, as they said more details are coming later. I would personally love to see a damage buff too. Sunshot is pretty decent with Solar Singe active, but I feel like it could use a little bump in PvE damage. Reminder that Faction Catalyst from Season 3 for Graviton Lance, Sweet Business, and Sunshot were all added to the Strike reward pool, so you can grind for the Sunshot Catalyst before Shadowkeep if you're looking to get that bonus stability and range on it. Although the Strike Catalyst drop rates are kind of abysmal, hopefully those get buffed for Shadowkeep. Also, Bungie has changes coming in Shadowkeep to the competitive playlist, which may make the Mida Multi-Tool Catalyst more accessible. This is likely due to the Solo Glory playlist and the way Glory is being retuned, but they could have possibly lowered the requirements for the Catalyst. We don't know entirely yet. Hopefully it's not as out of reach going forward. I find it funny that it's one of the easiest weapons to get in the game, with the quest being one of the first things you do after beating the campaign, yet the Catalyst is arguably one of the hardest things to get in the entire game. Recently, it was confirmed that the Year 1 Vanguard armor and Year 1 Crucible armor will be returning in Shadowkeep, meaning that you can earn their new Armor 2.0 versions and equip all their ornaments starting in the new season. This information was released on the heels of the Armor 2.0 announcement that every currently obtainable legendary set in the game will be converted to Armor 2.0. So if you can earn it, it drops as 2.0. Just remember that you'll actually need to go out and get it. It's not just going to auto-update your old armor. With Eververse armor being converted to universal ornaments, that's a good chunk of the armor already settled in the new system. While we're missing things like faction gear, Iron Banner gear, and Trials gear, the original plan was to steadily convert the old armor into the new system over the course of the next year, so we could still see those old sets make a return at some point. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't admit I'm feeling some amount of fatigue that we're kind of having to start fresh again on the armor. Hopefully it's the last huge armor revamp in the game. That said, I still am extremely excited for the new system. I think it's going to be the best version of armor we've seen yet. Bungie was at PAX West over the weekend, and players got to experiment with the new Season 8 PvP sandbox, and so far everyone seems to be enjoying it a lot more. Supers can be taken down easier, like killing a striker with one headshot from a 90 RPM sniper. Tether can once again one-shot enemies, heavy ammo spawns apparently felt like they were reduced, and more stuff. There was a ton of really great changes in the director's cut regarding PvP, the highlights being 3v3 elimination returning, there's going to be a solo glory playlist, heavy ammo can be shared by everyone on pickup, competitive is being replaced by 3v3 survival, Destiny 1 maps are returning, and supers and orb generation are being tuned to be less overpowered. So everything seems to be lining up to give us a pretty decent Crucible experience. I'm still curious as to what they're going to do about things like Mountaintop and Recluse though, especially now that Mountaintop is more accessible. I'm eagerly awaiting the notes on more specific sandbox changes like weapon tuning, subclass updates, and exotics. Whenever they drop that info, I'll be sure to make a video on it. Season 8 begins in 1 month, and Shadowkeep, New Light, and the launch of Destiny 2 on Steam are so close, and I'm super hyped. I can't wait to get back to making more gameplay-focused content for the game, and I hope you all stick around to see it. That's all the news for today. Thank you very much for watching.